I talked about this a little bit on the show on Friday. I fundamentally distrust the title, the headline of any legislation. I think no matter what side of the aisle you're on, it's always clickbait, whatever they title their legislation. So this one is no different. The Equality Act, if you look inside of it at the language of the bill, it is not about equality. How can we claim this type of provision, this type of legal mandate is equality when it would require women, it would mandate that women allow biological men to share a locker room? How is that equality for women?
Well, I think in that issue that you mentioned, as far as women sharing locker rooms or a bathroom, let's say, with a biological man, I think if the person is at the point where they have I guess, completed the transformation from man to woman, so they are a transgender woman. I think it would cause more of a firestorm if that person
That's not the language of the bill, though, because I could actually agree with you on that. I would agree with you on that. If the transformation or whatever you want to call it, the transition has been made, that's fine. Fine, I can get on board with that. That is not the language of this bill. The language of this bill only refers to identity, gender identity. We have seen examples across our country of, and we're not even talking about transgender people here. This is not even about the actual transgender community. This is about perverts who claim that they are the opposite gender, claim to identify as women in order to prey on women and children in locker rooms. And I think that this bill, under the guise of equality, damages the equality of women and children in girls' locker room because it leaves them vulnerable to that kind of exploitation. That's not equality. That's a step backwards.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think the number of men that are trying to claim to be women in order to complete some perverted motivation is very high. But I think you do have a point in that this bill, especially in the way it defines public accommodation, and it expands that term to include more areas: retail stores, small retailers, people who provide legal services, banks, things like that. It could use some tightening up, I'll say that. And I think the important thing to recognize is that even on the conservative side of the aisle, evangelical groups, the Mormon Church came out and said they support sort of a fairness for all approach. So there's no doubt that most people agree that gay people, transgender people deserve to have equal rights. They deserve their civil rights.
No, there's no argument about that. Everyone should have equal rights.
Religious liberty.
Of course, but that's what I'm saying. And that's actually one of the points that I was going to make is the majority of people in our country want everyone to be safe, want nobody to be bullied, want everyone to be comfortable in their skin. And that's a testament to the good-heartedness of the United States of America. But I think that this bill does a disservice to that because it simply changes who is being discriminated against.